So this morning, before we have our hashtag We're CLC, we have a special update for the lead pastor search. So I'd like to invite up Yvonne. Yvonne, how's it going?
Hey, Danny, good morning. Good morning, CLC. Hope you're all well. So I'm here, I only have 5 minutes, and there's a lot to cover. And I wanted to give a lead pastor search update since it is fall 2020. And ironically, we actually were formed a year ago, the lead pastor search committee anyway. And I think it's well due to give you a quick update about where we are. So since the majority of our focus has been on recruiting and screening and what I call filling the funnel, vetting the funnel, and trying to find the unicorn. Some of the highlights that we did were we hired an external recruiter called Grassbridge, and that's with the board's help. Thank you, Yan. And we've also developed an information packet. We've worked with the board to determine the recruiting and interviewing workflows, which are very detailed lucid charts I'm happy to share and walk with you, but it would take much longer than 5 minutes here. If you have questions, just feel free to reach out to me and I'm happy to send them to you for review. We also, the next update was we considered whether or not to bring in additional firepower by hiring Vanderbloemen, who is a well-respected Christian recruiting organization in the U.S. They're pretty well known. And we were vetting them for a couple of months. We decided to pause on this for a few reasons. The first one is that while they're very seasoned and they have a great track record, they don't have much experience with Asian American churches. So this would be fairly new with them and it would be a little bit harder given that we're living in a COVID world. They wouldn't really have a chance to get to know us as a church and culturally from that perspective, which will make it even harder, especially since they're going to be searching from abroad. So that was an obstacle that that was definitely something that we had to take into consideration. The other thing is about Grassbridge, and they honestly, guys, they are such a blessing. They have been rocking it, and you can ask Rick. Rick and I talk about it all the time at just how awesome they are. They took the lead and helped us with cold calling, scouring LinkedIn, scouring social media. And recently they started posting our job description on various job boards and various social media groups like Facebook, Asian American Christian leadership groups, and basically trying to help find those candidates. And once they find those folks, they connect with them, they do the initial vetting. So they pre-screen them, and if they seem to meet our criteria, they pass it along to the PSC. So that has saved us a ton of work and also helped us in terms of narrowing our, because all of us are full-time working employees, are full-time working, we're volunteer based. So it's a bit hard for us to dedicate this full-time. So having Grassbridge to help us do a big chunk of that work and helping us to fill that funnel has been awesome. And they have been, and the results show. So let's talk about that overall. Since the year we started searching, we vetted 19 candidates. And one of them, we all know, we have Pastor Ben, who is such a blessing to our church. And I'm just so excited that it has worked out for all of us. And we love Pastor Ben. The other 18, with the remaining 18, 60% were viable. They weren't viable from the get-go, meaning that when we were vetting them from the PSC, we found that they weren't a fit. They didn't meet our criteria, whether they lacked experience leading a church, their teaching style was not linear, or they had no desire to relocate from to NorCal from wherever they were, because some of these candidates lived in a different part of the Bay Area. There are also a few that would have met the criteria, but they just weren't interested or had other offers. So that's been hard, but we do have hope. So there are 2 potential candidates that we're currently vetting. One is from the East Coast, and he's still going through interviewing with the PSC. So Yan and Jordan are on deck to meet with him soon. Another is a Bay Area local who the PSC has recommended for this person to meet with staff, and they are going to be meeting with staff, and they just finished, this person just finished meeting with the pastoral team. So please be in prayer, because we don't know what's going to happen. Please be in prayer for God's will to happen. So let me pause and just say that as I reflect on this past year and as a board member, it's been a bit unique position for me because I also sit on the board and I'm also part of the search committee. And as I look back, I realize that it is not a slam dunk. And this process has not gone the way we anticipated. Because if you look at our website, and we thought we would be finalizing by now, we thought we would be having this new candidate, new hire, meeting with Pastor Andrew to start with the transition. That has not gone the way we anticipated. And it has completely reminded us that we're not in control, that God's in control, and that we're going to need to continue to lean on him and pray. So to my CLC family, I ask that you continue to lean and pray that God brings that next leader for us. Okay, so couple things that what's going on for what's next. We need to make sure we secure some funds for Grass Bridge for the 2021 budget. And we still continue to ask the congregation, we ask you to help to pray, to start networking, to continue to network, and word of mouth. Like Pastor Ben was a referral from a friend of a friend of a friend, Rick Kwan's neighbor, who was also ironically looking for a pastor, helping on the pastor search for his church, actually had come across Ben and referred him to us. So this is just an example of how powerful networking is, and it is also how powerful God works. So we ask for you to continue to pray. We also ask you to continue to help us network and reach out to your networks and connect them to us. If you need a copy of the packet, we created an information packet that gives an overview of our church along with a job description. Let me know, I will send that to you. Okay, so last piece. After service, we're good. The board and some of us from the PSC will be there for Q&A, and we can break out to a little private session about that if you like. Just let us know, okay? We'll see you then. And so, Danny, I'm going to turn this back to you for We Are CLC.
Great. Thank you so much, Yvonne. And thank you for sharing an update about the pastoral search. I know it is a very involved process with many, many people who have spent lots of time and care looking for a candidate that will continue to lead this church forward. And so definitely keep it in prayer. So thank you, Yvonne.